Hey guys, Steven here, and today I'm just going to be talking about some of the cool stuff that we've been doing these last couple weeks. I ordered in a bunch of magnets off of Vistaprint, so I got 25 of these. I think they look pretty cool. This is the opening scene for Color Me Zombie, and it has our logo on there. So these were like, they ended up being like $5 or $6 for the 25. They're not insanely thick, but they look really, really good. So, and we'll probably hand these out as just like thank yous to certain people when they come to the books, or have them at the sign-in and sell them for like $1 or something like that. So we have that. And then the bigger thing that we got was business cards finally. It's one of those things that I've been putting on the back burner for a while here. This is the front of it, which turned out amazing, and then the back. Now the front is glossy, and it has that same image off of this one. It just has our names, so me and Isaac here, and then at the bottom it has our email address, and then it has our logo there. On the back it's actually the house, the witch's house, Kay's house from Intertwined: A Witch's Fable, and then it just has our Facebook and Instagram handles there that you can see. These turned out really, really well. One of those things, like I said, it's been put on the back burner. Not something we hand out a ton, but in this last year, I've run into 5 or 6 instances where we needed a business card and we didn't have it. It would have been nice. So not super expensive, and I got 100, and those will probably last us a good while too, to be honest. But definitely taking those smaller steps to line out certain things. I don't think it's horribly important that you have a business card, but it's still something nice to have. And keeping that light on the back is important, because I want it so that if I ever have to write something else on top of it, it'll be there, and I'll have that space where it'll be legible. I've seen it before, and that was a tip that I got from a buddy of mine to do. And I've done that with all my other business cards for the training, because I'm a personal trainer for my regular day job. I've done that with those business cards, because you need that space where every now and then you'll have to write a note. And it's nice to have that. Sometimes people cram their business card with so much stuff. They're either doing that, they're cramming it with so much stuff that it's just overwhelming, or they're going so minimal. It's like it'll have a color, maybe it might even just be white, but it'll have like their name, maybe what they do, and then like email address, and that's it. Maybe a phone number, but like that's the whole business card. Outside of that, there's nothing else on there. But trying to make it minimal with this, and make sure that we have the social media handles, making sure that our personal phone numbers are on there for people to get a hold of us, and then the email address for the Oddball account that we have with Google. And that's where we kind of funnel all of that mail. And we do payment stuff through that and everything else. But so we have that going on, which is awesome. Bigger thing, there's this book company here that Zach told us about called Lavender Blue Literary Market, if I believe that's the exact name, or Literacy Market. But went down there yesterday, met the owner, super nice. This is one of the coolest, and it's a kids bookstore, right? So there's not adult books there. Kids bookstore, and then they do tutoring, right? So they help with anybody that's struggling to read, and the owner said that, I can't remember if they all have it or only a handful have like their PhDs, or I think there might be like retired teachers, right? Professors. And then they're all reading, like tutoring certified. So they're all certified to actually help kids better themselves with the reading. And they all have their own room. They have like these themed rooms, which are really, really cool. They had like a Willy Wonka one. They had like a Babe one, or maybe it was like Charlotte's Web. They had a reading area, which was Dr. Seuss. I think they had 4 reading rooms. And my favorite room was actually, it's a wardrobe on the outside, but you open up the doors and you go in and it's another room, and it's the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And that's for like the young adult readers section. And our witch book, Intertwined, she said that would be a good place for it. And that was really, really cool. I'll actually show a video that I took, just a small tour. And this isn't even all of it. You're just looking at like the opening sections. They have like paintings of like wild things on the wall, a bunch of learning books. They have the wardrobe area, the tutoring area. They have another separate reading area. And then the whole building, it actually wraps around too. And what's interesting is I don't even show that area, but they have a party room where they do themed parties, right? Like a Harry Potter theme, and they do all the games and all the activities. And you're really just supposed to bring the food because they didn't want to mess with the food handler's license, understandably. So, but we got our books in there. Really, really cool. Like I said, really cool bookshop. That is awesome that we have here in Tulsa now. It's just good to see that these local bookstores are slowly popping up. One, it gives us a place to sell our books and do signings and everything else like that, but I just think it's important to obviously support local, but to have spots like these that aren't Barnes & Noble and all these other places, because Barnes & Noble, I've tried so hard to get our books in there, and it just, it's been such a hassle that we just decided not to mess with it. We got them in there for a little bit, and then a new manager took over, and then they sent them back, and then she was giving us the runaround. Then they got another new manager, then they were giving us the runaround and see the books, and then we'd call and like, oh, they're not here, they'll be here tomorrow, and then we'd call at the time they said, and then they're not here, or like it just kept turning into this thing. And then at one point we kind of got close, and they're like, how much money are you gonna pump into the advertisement? I was like, we're local, like we don't have any money. Well, I mean, we probably spend like $50 on like Facebook advertisement. She was wanting thousands of dollars for that, and I was like, nope, can't do that. So that was one of those things where it finally got to the point where we're just saying drop it. So books like this, books like Decopolis, Woody Books, Wizards Asylum Comics and Games, Frugal Bookworm, looking at all these bookstores that are local and comic book stores, it's just been awesome to see. One, there's more and more popping up, and two, they're always super nice with saying that we can have the books in there. She took 3 copies of every book, and I've had a couple other spots, Magic City Books downtown here, which they say, it's a nonprofit, but they say they support local. They talk about it all the time. And I've heard from every bookstore owner and author that I've talked to that's tried to network with them, tried to get books in, that they give them the runaround and they basically don't do it. And we experienced that same thing. Multiple phone calls, emails, Instagram messages, and going into the store, and they still didn't come to anything. And with that, it's one of those things, like, if you don't want to do it, just say no. Like, they say yes, and then we can't like get it in there, and it just turns into an issue, and it gets super frustrating. So we just like, all right, moving on to the next thing. It like obviously didn't work, so that way we don't just harp on it and we're just constantly bummed out. But that's kind of what we have going on right now. Zach is worked on the images again, corrections that we had. He's actually tweaked a bunch of stuff, and then he like, because the first handful are pretty loose, and he's going in and he's finalizing a lot of stuff before he adds the color and nailing down the style. And man, some of these, and I'll show one for sure, they're turning out so good. I'm really, really excited about this. Me and Isaac have a call tonight. Within the next 2 weeks, so by the end of the month, we need the script done. I'm actually going to start formatting next week. And then the hope is we need to have this all kind of set up and ready to go and submitted by the end of April. That way we can spend all of May dealing with any minor adjustments that we need to make and ordering the books. We're shooting for June to go to Lavender's Blue for a book signing, and then we're trying to do the Rose District, what is it? It's like the Rose Festival or something like that, but basically local vendors come out. It's not quite like the local Comic-Cons and conventions that they have here. It's actually just out on Main Street down there, downtown Broken Arrow. But we want to set up a booth and a table, me and Zach do, and try and drum up some business with that. So we'll see how that goes. After we finish this book, moving on to the sock book, and then moving on to Zach's book. So we got a lot going on this year. It's been interesting to see the progression of all the different projects that we have going on, and really excited for this year with what we're going to be able to do. And I'll be showcasing more of the images as we get closer on our Instagram page, and I'll put the link for that down below in the description box. But that's what we have going on. Thanks to everybody for following along. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for us. If you actually want to continue to follow along with all of our content, hit the subscribe button. If you actually want a book or anything like that too, instead of ordering off Amazon, we would love to just send you and I'll cover the shipping fee and all of that, but we'll make sure it's a signed copy. And we usually throw in like a bookmark, or we try and throw in like a sticker or something like that too for anybody that buys it, because we do really appreciate you guys taking the money that you work hard for and spending it on our projects and our kids' books like this. And we hope that the kids enjoy them. And so far we've had amazing feedback with all of that. So like I said, thank you guys so much. Check back soon for more videos.